Becoming a champion is not easy, but with the right mindset and good practices, you can achieve your badminton goals. Here's what my brother Kennevic and I went through to be able to successfully compete at an international level. Hi, I'm Coach Kennie Asuncion. Welcome to Badminton ABCs, where I teach you how to level up your game and talk about all things badminton. If you want to be the best player you can be, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. If you want to become a competitive badminton player, there are a lot of steps and sacrifices to be made. Also important is a good attitude. My brother Kennevic and I were partners for over a decade. Here are some of our experiences. I could hit the shuttle at the age of 4 because I remember it clearly that I would always tag along with my dad, who also happens to be my coach. He used to also play for the Philippines. He used to be in the national team, and I was very sickly, so he would always tag me along. And by the age of 4, I could actually hit the shuttle over the net. And then from then on, I just tag along while my dad would coach the Valle Verde Country Club team. And I'd wait for everyone to finish training and, nag or like bug other people who would want to like hit with me. So I probably I was annoying then. I don't know, maybe I was a bit annoying and I'd ask all the older players to hit with me. So I think I was lucky enough to have that chance to be hitting with the better players.
I think I started pretty much the same because my dad was a coach already, so I was running around the courts most of the time, and I got to start hitting around maybe 5 for sure, I think. And then I started training around 11 or 12 already because I competed in a tournament already, and then I started wanting to go more and more and more.
I was very close to my dad and I was very sickly back then. So when he would compete, internationally, me and my mom would tag along. And there's one particular Southeast Asian Games in Singapore where they brought me. And although I was just playing my jackstones on the side, I think the fact that I was so exposed to, the badminton arena and with all those good players around, I think it was natural. It was very, very natural. It was never forced, and I was the one who wanted to play the sport.
For me, I guess it was because my dad was a coach already, so I'm always just on the court when he was coaching. So I was running around playing, getting to hit. So I guess that started the fun part of it, and then slowly fell in love into badminton.
By that, dad never really
Us to be
forced
champions.
us or put so much pressure. I know these days some parents could really put that crazy pressure on their kids. No, dad never did that to us. He allowed us to enjoy it. He explained things very thoroughly for us. He explained it clearly what regarding our actions, regarding how much work needs to be done. He explained everything really clear for us. We never really sort of trained together in the same group when we were younger because, okay, I have to give it out. I'm older than him. So, yeah. So, being older than him, I'm in the older group. We hardly got the chance to play together, but when we reached college and we were more matured in our games, our coach, our dad wanted us to just try it, and somehow it worked. And then from then on, we just tried to be better and tried to climb the ranking charts in the world.
I think, yeah, as my sister was telling you guys that we started out really late as partners together. It was just by luck that we partnered together, and then eventually we know we have the same goals to try to do records for the Philippines, and then try to give them a better result of Philippine players playing outside the country. So it helped us that we were playing together. When we see each other working that hard, then it's easier to see the result and everything.
And let me add that I think what was nice about training with your sibling and being with your sibling is the fact that none of you can slack off, because our coach is our father, so he won't let any one of us be lazy or whatever. So it's like we were helping each other more. Our dad did a good job. He explained things very clearly with us. He reminded me not to use my older sister status to control him or anything. So we were equals. On court, we were equals. Even if he had the better smash, even if he was stronger, we were equals on court. He never made me feel like I was the weaker player. We just did our very best to complement each other.
My dad too, even in the meals and everything, we get to talk about badminton. So it's a really advantage for us because the whole family is involved.
Yeah, I remember the car rides, because we would go training and it would take us an hour to get to the club. In the car going to training, we would talk about games or where we are, and even on our way home, we'd still discuss the games. Like it was a non-stop, all stories or whatever about badminton, everything badminton.
We travel a lot, and then we made a lot of friends. Like we have Lee Chong Wei, Lindan, Taufik, Lee Hyun Il, Leon Day. I think we're all of them, like we met along the way, even when we were all just starting, not yet a world number one for them, and then we were all friends already.
Oh, but my favorite was Susi Susanti of Indonesia. I really, really loved her. She was so graceful on court, so humble despite all the championships she's won. And it was just such an honor that I got to play her. And there were many, many other players who are still actually currently, playing.
Still involved in playing.
Oh, when we were trying out for the Olympics, we were actually we would actually go on tournaments like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes we'd be out for 2 or 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. So in a month, averagely 2 weeks out of the country. As you mostly know, that we play mixed doubles together, but we also play singles on the side. So once in a while we play singles, and that was memorable for me because it was a world champion again I'm playing against, and it was 3 sets. I almost beat him, so it was really a memorable.
Yeah, I can remember that very clearly because we were in China, particularly in Guangzhou. The stadium was really big. I was in the audience, and everybody was cheering for Xia Xuanze, and I was the only one like clapping each point that he would get. And it was that scenario was really stuck in my head. And even after the games, I clearly remember that the reporters immediately swarmed Vic. I don't know, what questions are they asking you?
They were just asking where are you from, and I'm like, Philippines. And they would ask me again the same question, and I'm like, Philippines. They said, no, where are you born? Are you from China or something? I'm like, always, no, Philippines. And they were all wondering. That's why it was fun too, because that's the time that they realized that there are other people also that plays well, not just China or anything, right? We have a Philippines also that plays.
It would be the Southeast Asian Games where we won the bronze medal. It's very memorable to me because unknown maybe to others, or maybe in other sports, it's easier to get medals. But for badminton, it's really, really difficult. Even just for the Southeast Asia, it's so hard to win a medal because you have the Olympic champions in Asia. So winning a bronze felt like winning the gold. MVP Cup, Asia versus Europe. Well, it was our first time to play in our home court where you see Ultra being packed. I mean, I've never seen a badminton tournament locally that had so much people, so much badminton fanatics. Of course, we would attribute that to the great players that were invited over. For Asia, there was Lindan, there was Taufik. Thailand was represented by Sudket, Sara Lee, and the Malaysians. We had the good doubles. And for the Europe side, Nathan Robertson and Gail Ems, who were #1 at that time. So it was very, very memorable. It gives us like goosebumps, even just trying to recall it. I remember clearly walking when they were calling our names from the Asia team, and then they called us. I even remember like after they were telling me, why was your head like, because I was looking around and I didn't know, it was our first time to play in a full jam-packed home court. So it's such a great experience. And I think to top it all, we did really well.
Could cost them here in game number 1. It is Asia with a 1-point lead. 2 points away from game number 1. The crowd now on the edge of their seats.
Oh!
Now just 1 point away from game number 1.
Just a point away, Anthony, before this arena gets very, very loud.
We mentioned their very first meeting in 2003. It was a 15-7 convincing win by the world's #1 pair, Nathan Robertson and Gail Ems, over Kennevic Asuncion and Kennie Asuncion. Right now, the outcome could be very, very different.
Nathan Robertson taking a break here, trying to break the momentum these past 2 rallies have given to Vic and Kenny.
And they have 2 game points. Game point number 2 coming up. And the fans here want the siblings to get it.
Oh!
It goes out. And game number 1 going to Asia. As far as Europe is concerned, an absolute shock. Looking at the faces of each and everyone seated on that bench of Europe, cannot believe it. They cannot believe it. Total disbelief is what is written on all their faces right now. Quickly, the coach of Europe rushes out to Nathan Robertson and to Gail Ems.
Team Europe was really counting on, I think they were very confident they were gonna take this one.
Unknown to most, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna play at that time. When we were preparing for it, the organizers told us that there's a possibility that I won't be playing. Vic was sure to play, but they were thinking of partnering him with somebody else, maybe a Korean partner or something. So, okay, that didn't dampen my spirits. I just trained hard. I remember our dad sending us to Korea, and we just trained. And towards the latter part of the trip, that's when I found out I was sure to play. The organizers informed my father that, okay, your kids will compete as a pair. So that was the backstory or the side story of it. And winning 1 set and actually almost winning the 2nd set was like crazy for us. I remember the crowd going wild, cheering up and down. It was only after the games when I started seeing pictures or people started talking to us that I realized, oh my God, there were so many people watching. We had politicians watching. We had, of course, we had MVP himself there watching the games, cheering for us. We had like celebrities that were, cheering, and it's amazing. The feeling was really different. Back then, Dad was our coach on court, and then we had Sir Herc Calianta who helped us with the physical side of it. So our preparation, you know, was really very well managed. We were never overtrained. We were also not undertrained. I think everything just fell in the right place. The program was pretty good. It was really tailored for us. Him as a player, he's crazy. The harder the training is, the more he loves it. So I clearly remember us training in Thailand, and it's like, it was so hard that every day when I wake up, I kind of have this wish that I just faint so that I could stop training in that session. But him, this guy, this is like crazy. They were training 3 times and you'd see him so energetic and he was loving it. So yeah, he was really crazy in training.
But even if you say that all the time, it's the same thing for you. I mean, you say you're slacking off, you're tired or something, but you still give a lot. That's why I think we're almost the same in terms of working hard. There's number for steps. Let's say there's 3. It's always gonna be train, and slowly you'll get the result. Like, so basically, really train really hard, because that's one of the first thing that you have to have. And then of course, the last but not least is loving what you're doing, because without that love, you will not have the result.
I'd like to be remembered, if it's in terms of being a player, is that someone who worked really hard, someone who gave everything and dreamed really big. I never thought we'd make it to number 11 in the world, but yeah, all we did was push, and you know, it was all fun. I didn't see doors opening for us. I think we were just focused on enjoying the game and, you know, getting high ranks. So I'd like to be remembered as someone who worked really hard. Well, my advice is first and foremost to enjoy the game. To enjoy, but when you say that you want to achieve something, make sure that you do everything you can. Don't say that you want to achieve something, but along the way when it gets hard, you give up easily, or that you'd rather do something else, you'd rather try something else. If you think you're good here, keep pushing forward. Your time will come, your chance will come, and it's going to be so worth it.
What is the biggest reason why you play badminton? Is it to compete, to lose weight, or just to have fun? Please feel free to comment on the section below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can take your badminton game to the next level and be a smashing success.